right away. We're clearing the nervous system through the hair. It's like a fast track. And we're asking for the deepest healing and the deepest questions answered from your higher self and source. So connecting through the heart to source and the inner body, connecting to our higher self. And our higher self is like the pillar of consciousness that links to source. Okay, good. All right, so for today, there's going to be a description put underneath, and it doesn't look like it's there yet, but it will describe what I need actually to ask a question to your higher self. So your higher self is like your highest consciousness. It's also your infinite self. So depending on what dimension your higher self lands, and that's that's earned. So that amount of um, source consciousness is earned based on behavior and commitment and embodiment of source consciousness. And whew, yes. And so as a seer, we're going into multi-dimensions and we're going into whatever dimension your oversoul or your higher self, your infinite self, Eckhart Tolle calls your higher self the deep I. So whatever dimension your higher self is, that's kind of where the answers are coming from. And then they come through divine presence, basically through the heart. And so there's been a few things that has been coming up with doing the decrees and also with anchoring source consciousness in very dense 3D bodies. So our 3D bodies are not the problem. Our 3D bodies are here to help us. Our 3D bodies are here to um, help us see what is the interference and what is um, so what is the interference and what is happening? Your body will actually tell you. So if there is any interference, any overlays, if we use like a strong word, which I don't like using because it just freaks people out and then they're too afraid to look in, is, entities. Entities are the regular. Okay, so 3D is literally entities. Everybody thinks, oh, you have an entity. It's like 3D is entities, and the lowest vibration they want to get you to is shame and fear. And then if you feel enough intensity of shame and fear, then you pop out of your body, you dissociate. So dissociating is like a psychology word, but basically you are jumping out of your body. Not your your soul stays anchored, but it's like your energy. And then as soon as your energy pops out, then other things can pop in. And the other things that can pop in are a low frequency. So just doing some releasing. I'm just going to look at the chat. Juanita, did I say your name right? Juanita from Oregon. Hi. I'm going to send you some hearts. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So there's a protocol that I've learned that anytime anything happens to you that feels like that has made you uncomfortable. So say, thank you, Juanita, for letting me know that I'm saying your name correctly. Thank you so much. Okay, sending lots of love. um, anytime anything happens to you that is uncomfortable, or say you're doing all the decrees and you're asking questions for your higher self, you're asking for healing for things, you're asking, it's self-healing, right? So we're asking, our higher self has everything. So we want no voices but our higher self. And then your higher self is connected to source. So we want your own truth, not like the truth, like not truth over others, but like your deepest truth of your own, the crown being yours, right? So that's a very typical, lots of what I call spiritual new age teachers, they'll say, oh, connect with your crown and open your crown right up. It's like, no way. No way. Do not do that. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but do not open your crown. And that's why we go through the heart, because the heart is the most difficult to interfere with. And it's staying connected to source through the heart. Okay. And then claiming, my heart is mine. My heart is mine. My crown is mine. My third eye is mine. I claim my third eye in source's name. I claim my crown in source's name. I claim my heart in source's name. I claim my body in source's name. And then you can do that with everything. You can say, like, my money is mine in source's name. My voice is mine in source's name. My ears are mine in source's name. Because from 4D, they interfere with frequency from 4D. The Anunnaki interfere with 4D. From 4D, they interfere with our hearing. So what we can do in this work, because it's energy work, is that we can ask for an extra code of shielding. And the extra, so let's do that right now. So just as we start, let's ask for an extra code of shielding. So the extra code of shielding is like the energy or aura around you. And we're going to ask through the heart that we have clear discernment. Good. And then just usually I'm just stretching out the nervous system at the back. So stretching out the neck and stretching out the nervous system. So we're asking for clear navigation. We're asking to be able to move through 3D density more efficiently. Good. And then just clearing the neck and the shoulders. And then we want to emphasize our connection to source through the heart, to our higher self or highest consciousness or infinite self, or the word that Eckhart uses is the deep eye. The words that he uses are the deep eye because it's deep into the heart. Good. Okay, I'm just going to take a look. So that's called the extra code of shielding. So we're asking for that, and then it's anchored through the heart. It's like a plasma light, like a crystalline light, like a living light, like a golden light around us through the heart, and then connecting to source. Good. It's going to adjust the camera a bit. Okay, let's take a look at the chat. um, So Juanita says, like someone yelling or slamming the doors. Yeah, exactly. Because what happens when that happens, right? Somebody slams the door or yells, our nervous system right away, our bodies, like, or go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fawn is when you basically kind of lay there dead because you're too afraid to move because it's like a survival response. And it makes our nervous system really like hijacked. So with the extra code of shielding, say people yell or scream, but we're anchoring into our higher self, our extra code of shielding with source. It doesn't mean that those 3D things stop happening. It means that the potential for you not to get hijacked is increases. So the more practice, the more stability of your nervous system. When he just says, it makes me uncomfortable to be around others who are feeling angry. Oh, um, so Juanita says, makes me uncomfortable to be around others who are feeling angry. Yeah, for sure, because it affects your nervous system, and then it will connect to a younger you. So younger, you're what I call the younger selves, and there can be many younger selves, like your 4, 5, 6, or many 5-year-olds. So right away, we want to clear the throat for Juanita. Just clearing. Okay, I'm going to have to cough. Hold on. I'm going to mute the. Okay, so we just want to claim for Juanita, just reading the chat right away, there was a response. So we just want to clear the throat with Juanita's higher self's permission, but we just want permission to clear the throat. And we're asking for the clearing to be right to the root cause, to the very first incarnation, and to bring in Source's golden light. So Juanita can speak her truth, know her truth, and that her voice is not silenced from an exterior place, people, place, things. Yeah, and so what Juanita's an empath, and so what she's saying is that her next message is, I have to protect my energy each day so that I don't absorb others' negative energy. Yeah, so that is very typical of empaths. So empath sensitives, star seeds, even black sheep, they are all under the umbrella of light workers. So they have a higher connection with source. So they're here usually in service. And so some of us remember, or that remembering can come in layers as we need it, so it's sometimes it's not important to know. If it's not important to know, then you won't find out because your higher self doesn't need it is not important. And um so just clearing the nervous system for Juanita right now. So yeah, these are important messages because they're this is actually what all seer and higher self work is about. It's exactly about this, like how to stay anchored without the interference overwhelming you. And then, of course, then it changes the course of your life if it gets so overwhelming. So there's some energy clearing for Juanita and for whoever else is watching, because as soon as one person says, yeah, I get really uncomfortable around others, then it's like, and then other people say, yes, 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 yes. Right. So that's energy work, and that's source aligned work, because at 5D, we are one. We are one in terms of consciousness. Like we would never watch another suffer in 5D. In 5D, the loosh, like the 3D suffering that is required for that low vibration of 200, 150, whatever, the one percenters, that low energy of trauma, fear, shame, guilt, that is what 3D is. That's the frequency of 3D. And so we're wanting to awaken our consciousness, our connection through the heart to our higher selves. And our higher selves are usually past, like if you're here, your higher self is past 5D. So your highest consciousness is usually anywhere between 5 to 24D, and then say source is 25D, right? So depending on on you, that's what I call, and many other teachers, my teacher Eckhart Tolle, he also calls it the vertical, right? So we're connecting with the vertical. And then 3D is the horizontal. And then 3D is just a rinse repeat of trauma loops, of karmic loops, of like the false light, the false white light, and then the trickery. And then there's lots of interference, what I call interference and installations that are kind of like embedded in a 3D body in order to keep us in that low frequency. And that's where the decrees have been designed to actually release that interference. Because they're saying we consented at some time, but 3D Earth is all about inferred consent. So we're making it crystal clear in the decrees that we do not consent and that we revoke consent and that we send it to source. Okay. So yeah, so for Juanita, I would say it's the throat, that really gets blocked. And then, so we did some energy work. So I hope that feels better for you, Juanita. And then Juanita states, my money is mine in source's name. Yeah, exactly. And then the golden light of source. Yes. So thank you, Juanita. Yeah. So we'll bring in the golden light of source into this Zoom, into this YouTube live for Juanita and her higher self, bringing in bringing in source's golden light for me, bringing in source's golden light. And then I saw Sinija has joined the live as well in the chat. And so we'll invite source's golden light for Sinija as well and for everybody that is watching. So we're bringing in source's golden light. And then right away, they're anchoring in the base of the nervous system. So they're just like anchoring, they're saying. That's the words that they're using. And then also just the extra code of shielding is like a golden plasma light bubble. It's like a crystalline bubble, plasma crystalline golden bubble. Okay, so just doing some more releasing for the nervous system. It's like a fast track through the hair. Oops. And then we're just gonna do it in the front. So, and then over the ears to be able to hear in source's name. Good. And then over the crown, clearing in source's name, bringing in the golden light of source. Good. All right. We're clear. I heard we're clear. And then Juanita says, yes, exactly. I think I probably missed in the moment when you said that. So sorry, Juanita. Okay, so, and Juanita says, thank you, Elaine. And she put my name in capital letters. Thanks, Juanita. That's really sweet. Okay, lots of love. And then if you want any specific type of questions, we can go in deeper, Juanita. I just need your year of birth and then your question, and then we can also go deeper. So we did a light clearing. We did a light clearing for the throat, and then we also did a clearing for the nervous system. So, and it feels like the nervous system, we could keep going. Oh yeah, of course you can ask. So Juanita asks, I see Sinija is also in the chat and has a question, but I'm gonna just finish with Juanita. Juanita says, when did you first discover you were a seer, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah, kind of like you, Juanita. I remember being like, one specific example when you said that about sitting next to people and then feeling like, you know, like uncomfortable. Um, I sat beside my grandmother and she had a very intense pain body, so she was probably part of the dark triad. And I remember just going gray and then feeling very sick when I sat next to her. And I didn't see her that often. I only saw her a couple of times in my life. And this is my mother's mother because she lived in another country. And right away I felt like sick and I felt great. And then I thought, okay, I have to but on the outward, she looked so sweet, right? And she was very tiny. She was probably like 4'11". She was like not very tall. She's a very tiny person. My mother's mother. And my mother was, not that tall either. And so then when I moved away from sitting next to her, I then started feeling better again. And so those kind of experiences happened my whole life. But when I was really little, I was very awake, I would say, as a seer, and it did not go well. My mother did not like what I was seeing or what I was saying. And she was part of the dark triad. And so she was like the extreme of abusive. So all of the seeing kind of is my easiest is to see, and then it would come the feeling, and then the hearing kind of came last. Like I closed down the hearing and then opened the hearing just I think in I don't know, either late 2025 or 2026 or the beginning of 2026, but it was not that long ago. And I remember being horrified because I could hear like the children screaming, I could hear the screeching, I could hear the way 3D really is, not the way that we're told, this whole like, oh, everyone can be rich and everyone has, can have an amazing life if they choose. And I heard like the reality of 3D when my ears awakened, because in order to be a seer, you have to see things as they are, not with the rose-colored glasses, not wanting to change things or not wanting things to be different, but you actually have to name them as they are, period, basically. So, okay, so it looks like Juanita has a question. Um, Okay, so yeah, so that I would say that it has always been there since I was little, and I'd gotten in a lot of trouble for it, but it never stopped me from seeing. And then the other clairs like knowing, feeling, hearing, smelling, tasting, they've all come at different levels. But now I feel like they're all pretty much on. Okay, all right, let's have something to drink. Okay, so Juanita, 1981, she, her, thank you. What can you tell me about how to manifest better? She did a correction, how to manifest better. I feel like I have an inner knowing that is pretty strong. Okay, that's really great that you're aware of that, Juanita. And then Juanita, I love messages in my dreams. Yeah, that's your higher self. So your higher self will bring you dreams. And if you remember them, they're not dreams, they're messages. So they can be messages of things to clear or messages that, like, say, if you wake up in the morning and you have like a disturbing dream, it tells you to clear, cancel, release, send it to source, and then basically do the protocol of I do not consent to these types of dreams. And then I call in my higher self connected to source, and I send this to source back to sender, and I want the records updated of only source aligned. And then I'm asking source for compensation for this experience. And I also want source to take over this dream and to step in. That is like a high level of consciousness to remember to do that in the moment of being afraid or being, you know, kind of like I call it tormented in the dream state because we're in a vulnerable state. we're asleep. So to me, I think of those as like cheap shots. Okay, so the messages in your dreams, yeah, those are from your higher self and then connected to source consciousness. And then I always say higher self, only source aligned. And then Juanita says, I have had some of each Claire's. Yeah, exactly. Like the example that I give is one of my friends. She's like an empath, like she feels everything in her body first. And then she sees or hears, but she feels it in her body first. I see it right away, like a movie, but we both get the same information. We have different styles, but we both get the same information. So it just depends on what you're comfortable with. Like some people are, sometimes it's like I hear messages really crystal clear, like, and there's not many words, but it's like completely crystal clear. So, okay, so let's ask specifically connecting Juanita with her higher self, only source aligned, connecting through the heart. So 1981. So Juanita wants to know about how to manifest. So what would work for Juanita? Let's take a look. So when I'm going back and forth like this, I'm connecting to 0 point consciousness. So what they're saying is, and then they meaning like your higher self plus team of unconditional love, only source aligned. They're saying the fast track for you to manifest is through inspiration. So anything that makes you feel inspired. So what they're showing is like a sunset and then like somebody sitting watching the sunset, painting, or just sitting enjoying the sunset, or like reading in front of the sunset. Like anything that makes you feel inspired. Like a sunset can be like if you saw a sunset every day, it would be different. So they're saying anything that you feel inspired by, that is the fast track for manifesting. Yeah, anything that you feel that inspires you, they're saying. And then each time you do that, it's like it builds momentum. It like it just builds momentum. It's like every sunset that you see will build momentum. And they're saying it'll like move things along, you know? Yeah. So anything that brings you inspiration. So just doing some clearing for your nervous system, just clearing out. They're saying they just want to clear out some of the past for you. And then that's like at the base of the nerve, where the nervous system is, at the base of the skull. They just want to clear. And they're just really creating that golden light of source, that protective energy field around you. And then just affirming, like, my money is mine. I embody knowing. My soul speaks from within, or you can say my higher self speaks from within, but they wanted to use that word. I don't know if that resonates with you, but the word they used is my soul speaks from within. And then they're just helping remove things Like I see them as like, say there's like a hair on my pants, but for them, they're like, we're going to remove that, we're removing that. So they're basically like removing things that are not for your highest and greatest good. They're just removing them. And then this is the left side. So the divine masculine side is kind of like the doer, but also the holding of the field, like holding the energy of the field, like grounding. And then just releasing the nervous system again, releasing the shoulders, releasing the nervous system. And they're saying like if this feels true for you, but they're saying the energy updates decree. So I think it's part 18. So 18 of the, I don't know if you've done any of the decrees, but the energy updates decree might be helpful. Okay, so just releasing some more. Good. Great. And then just clearing, 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 clearing. And then just releasing, releasing, releasing. A lot of action in these sessions, a lot of action in energy clearing. So when I do one-on-one energy clearing sessions, it's like I don't stop moving. They're clear, clear, clear. They're saying the tourmaline, the black crystal, they can be tiny. I have like this one, it's very tiny, or this one that I just got in the Rocky Mountains on a trip recently. Um, that's bigger, but it can be like this small, just even, or even just, you don't have to even have the physical crystal, just even thinking about tourmaline in terms of like protection. They're saying that can really help with protection and grounding, which the more grounded you are, the more protected you feel, the more abundance, the more because abundance is about holding. It's about surrendering and then holding. So the divine masculine holds and the divine feminine. So the divine masculine holds, so hand down, and then the divine feminine on the right receives, surrenders basically. So we're doing both. And the surrendering is just as important as the receiving and the grounding. They're both, they're both important. Okay, good. Good. That's better. So I don't know, Juanita, if you feel better, but I feel like that kind of that anchored it in and that it feels better to me. Feels more grounded, feels better. Yeah, so just focus, they're saying focus on inspiration. Inspiration is your higher self. Inspiration is your highest consciousness. And then anchoring that into your daily life, and then releasing, surrendering, right? We release it to source, release it to our higher self. Good. And then you will match that frequency, and then it's the frequency, the abundance is a frequency, and then that frequency will bring in what you're asking for. But we have to ask for what we want, but then we also have to surrender what we want. So we ask for it, and then we release it to the highest and greatest good, which is source. So that's the surrendering, the divine feminine, and then the divine masculine, the left side of the body anchors it into the body, holds it into the body, and holds wealth. Okay, so thank you, Juanita. We're going to check the chat now for Juanita. Okay, so Juanita. Juanita says joy. So I'm thinking that you, with inspiration came is joy as well. Exactly. Joy, unconditional love, inspiration. They're the highest frequency of our bodies, but also source. And then Juanita says, thank you. Oh, thank you, Juanita. Let's see. Juanita says, yes, she feels better. And yeah, so she says yes, and then better. And then Juanita says, I am feeling better. Great. Okay. Thank you, Juanita. That's great. Because then the body will tell you, you know, I feel better. That feels good. Because anytime we release, um, yeah, it's almost like that. I'm like thinking, why is so much happening? I clean my glasses before coming on the YouTube lives in the morning. I always clean my glasses in the morning, but I feel like there's so much happening and with my glasses, with Juanita's question that I feel like a lot just needed to get cleared from the eyes. Yeah. And the glasses kind of block, so sometimes they're like, we need the glasses off in order to do the clearing. So and then Juanita says, I really enjoy watching this. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you. Okay, well, lots of love. I'll send you some hearts. Thank you for your question. And so we're going to close Juanita's question with inspiration and joy from Source, bringing in the golden light from Source for Juanita. And then just clearing, 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 and then anchoring in with the divine masculine is receiving, and the divine feminine on the right is surrendering. And then bringing in the balance. And then grounding into new earth, which is 5D consciousness, which is the heart-based consciousness. Good. Done. Whew. Thank you. Thanks, Juanita. Thank you. Nice, beautiful question. Okay, so there was another question. I think Sinija had another question, and I'm going to look through the chat and then see what Sinija, let's have some water. So Sinija, 1973. Thank you, Sinija, for putting your year. She, her. Could you please ask my higher self to clear interference in my lower chakras, having financial challenges, not sure if I'd be able to pay rent. Okay, scary. Yes. Okay, so let's look into this. So Sinija 1973, she, her, could you please ask my higher self to clear interference in my lower chakras, having financial challenges, not sure if I'd be able to pay rent. P.S. Didn't get the notification for your live. I just found it on YouTube. Oh, wow. Okay, thanks, Sunija, for letting me know. So it didn't get the notifications didn't go out. Okay. I don't do them, so I will talk to I'll talk to them. But that's also reminds me that I should keep track of it myself. Okay, so Sinija, the financial difficulty I'm experiencing feels like a psychic attack. I'm clearing interference, including abundance interferences daily, and claiming my abundance resources money daily. Okay, good. And then PS, I burned the final notice from sleeping in my car. Excellent. And then sending it to source. Good. And then Juanita, sorry, I don't know, Juanita, you came in. Sinija. Thank you, Elaine, so much. Yellow hearts, hearts on fire, and stars. Okay, thank you. Triple, triple, triple. So that's a 9. Um, oh, it was so interesting. I had um I had one of my receipts. So I bought some groceries at my favorite grocery store called Eternal Abundance. And my receipt came to 6606, so 666. So to me, those are Lucifer's numbers, so the fallen angels. And, I don't blame the fallen angels or anybody or even the low dimensions of 3D because it's all part of the universe, right? Because it exists, right? So then we have to go, okay, well, it exists. So now what? What do we do? And so I saw that, but right away in the moment, I said, I do not consent. Inferred consent is not consent. I send these numbers to source, the 666, and I want my records updated. So I'm clearing. You can see it's like there's a lot of pressure, right? Don't say it out loud. So I said, I want it updated in the records, only source aligned, and my higher connecting with my higher self, only source aligned through the heart. And then I sent the 666 to source back to sender. And then I asked source for compensation for this interference, I call it. And because I always tell on themselves, so they're like saying, oh, well, we're around. So then it's like, great, thank you for giving me the memo, because then I can do something about it, right? Instead of having just this vague feeling around me, I can just, um, they tell me who's around me, and then I can basically send them to source. So they always tell on themselves. That's the thing, is we don't have to be like super secret agents. Like they always will reveal, and then we just decide what we're going to do with the information that we're receiving. And so I left. So I did all of that. And then I asked source to come in and take over this situation, because I had to drive and I didn't want, I didn't want any more interference. So they're just basically letting me know they're like around, and I'm saying like, no, I'm not interested. I'm not fighting. I'm not like freaking out. I'm like, no, I do not give consent. It's no, it's a no. And then as soon as I got in my car and I'm driving, the license plate in front of me was 111 W WWN, so like win. So it would be like the extra W. If it was an I, it would be win. So it was like 111 to me is like the angel numbers of only source aligned. And they're basically saying, yeah, like you called us and then we cleared it, and then look, we win. And that's how simple it is, right? But if we were thought, we were not thought, but taught that with a low frequency of fear or anger or shame or guilt, it's like, well, we have to like fight, or we have to like fight our way out. It's like, no, we don't have to do any of that. We only have to anchor into our hearts. And like Sunija has said this before, like this is what we should be learning from when we're children. But thank you for the hearts. I'm going to send some hearts back. So thank you. So anchoring into our hearts, and then connecting to our higher self, only source aligned, and then connecting to source, and then asking source to come in and take over the situation. So it's like anytime Sunija asks a question in the chat, like it happens to me. So then I get to like experience it and then see how it goes. So I would say they were confirming it will go very well, right? Because as soon as and the more you recognize to do that immediately, then that's the key. The key is, as soon as it happens, don't just be like, oh, that's unusual or that's odd. Because one of my friends she's like a very powerful empath. And she kept saying, like 666 is coming around me and I'm having nightmares. Like, what's going on? She's the one that said that she was having a lot of nightmares. And I'm just going to send some love, because I had a little bit of interference. I thought the video paused for a second, so I'm just going to send lots of love. Only source aligned. And so she, called in all the help, called in her higher self, but it was like her dream had frightened her so much, because she's an empath. She really, she really feels everything in her body. And then she just said she called me in. And then poof. Because we can, that's 5D. We can help each other because we're on the same, we're working through the same things, we're awakening through the same things, we're anchoring into consciousness through the heart, together. And so, I'm like in the same field, so I'm not frightened by what happened to her. So then it was easy for me to step in. So it was really neat to be able to play like that. That's what it felt like. It felt like we were playing and in our sleep. But as light workers, we can do that for each other. Okay, so Sinija, let's get back because we want to see what is going on. So, okay, so Sinija, 1973, she, her, could you please ask my higher self to clear interference in my lower chakras, having financial challenges, not sure if I'd be able to pay rent, didn't get, okay, so, um, and then the financial difficulty I'm experiencing feels like a psychic attack. I'm clearing interference, including abundance interference daily and claiming my abundance resources money daily. P.S. I burned the final notice from the sleeping in my car. Okay, excellent. And then thank you so much. Okay, so let's look into Sinija 1973. Okay, so let's take a look. So right away, so when I'm going like this with my head, I'm anchoring into 0 point consciousness. So 0 point is that point of neutrality. So it's connecting to 7D. Okay. I'm like, well, what is it? They're like 7D. So it's like just connecting to source consciousness, to the heart. And then we're going into 0 point neutrality. And that's really where the shifts really happen. Okay. So Sanija's abundance blocks the lower chakras. Yeah, they're saying that it feels very rocky for you. Like, you've taken a lot of risks. Like what they're showing is like kind of like you paddling and like in the rapids, like you're like in a, I guess, are they kayaks or canoes, and you're in the rapids. Maybe like a kayak, you're like by yourself in this little kayak and you're like in the rapids, and they're saying like that's what it's been feeling like for you. Um, okay, so that's not good. Okay, so just clearing your nervous system. Okay. All right, so let's take a look. Okay, so how do we clear this for Sinija so that she gets a real shift, real release right to the root cause, to the very first incarnation? So we're asking for the deepest healing and the deepest clearing for Sinija. Okay, so they're just working on it's Yeshua's here, so only source aligned. So he is a master healer. I think Sinija had a different name for Yeshua that felt right for her. Like in the crucifixion timeline, he's called Jesus was his name, but he's a master healer. I've asked him many times, he comes in many people's sessions, like what name does he prefer? And he just says the name that pings in your heart. And I know Sinija had a name for him, but I can't remember. So we're just going to call him Yeshua for right now. He says, fine. So we're asking for the deepest healing and the deepest clearing for Sinija. We're asking for the interference. Sinija wants the interference to be removed right to the root cause and to the very first incarnation. Yeah, something has stung you, they're saying. It's like an interference that came in like a sting. So it's actually the second chakra. So the 2 inches below the belly button, that's the sacral chakra. It's orange. Um, and they're saying basically the sting created like an anti-life. Okay, so say it created like an anti-life force, like a glitch, you know? So, well, 4D likes working with the Anunnaki like interference. So they're basically saying it's nothing to be afraid of. Okay, so it's a glitch. So it was like a bee sting in the sacral chakra. And so they're like gonna just remove the sting. They're gonna remove the sting from the sacral chakra, the second chakra. It's like an energy center. And so basically the sting, the chakras are do have a natural flow upwards like this. And then the sting made the chakra go, ooh, like this, like this. It made it go like counterclockwise and then just kind of get jarred. And then it's just typical 3D interference, nothing to be afraid of. It literally is, if you compare it to source's golden light, a bee sting, it's causing interference. Well, of course, right? But now you're naming it, you're saying something is going on. You know, Cindy just saying something is going on with my finances, something is going on with the lower chakras, and I want it healed and cleared. Right. And then we're saying, okay, let's go and we're going to do it to the root cause, to the very first incarnation to make sure that this is completely removed. And then it was shown what it was. The interference was like a bee sting in the second chakra, the sacral chakra, which is a sacred chakra. And then basically removing the little stinger has been removed, I'm told. And then we're getting your chakra to move in the direction that it is meant to go, which is like a spiral upwards, like that. So I'm hearing, I'm hearing them saying yes, releasing, yes, releasing, yes, releasing, yes, releasing, yes, releasing, yes, releasing, yes, releasing. And they want to acknowledge you've taken a lot of risks, like you've done a lot of work on yourself. You have taken a lot of risks and you've done this solo, right? And they want to acknowledge all the work that you have done. But you know, your canoe or kayak is upright and you are like handling the rapids. Like you're, you know, what they're showing is like, you know, pink angel wings in your kayak and you're like paddling. That's what they're showing. But they're showing like the rapids are intense for you right now, but you are above water. You are handling it and your angel wings are on. Yeah, they're saying they're on and you are handling it. And so it's been removed, the little stinger, which I call the little stinkers. It has been removed. And then now it's going in the right direction. So it's like a spiral upwards. Whereas before it was like stuck. So it was like going, trying to go around and it would be like stuck and it was like slow and it was like, but you would have felt it in the body like something's like not moving, you know, something doesn't feel right, which you did. Whew. Deep breath. Deep breath. And then let's have some coconut water. I got different coconut water. Thank you, Sinija, for telling me that they can put like 10% in whatever and not have to disclose. That's like that same 20% that they can tell 80% true and 20% lie. Well, that's not a big deal. I actually had somebody say that, somebody close to me. And I was like, 20% 20% lie, like a sentence that has 80% truth and 20% a lie is like a massive lie and distortion. That's 3D. But that's why 3D is the horizontal, but that's not what we're staying with. We're going with the vertical, right? 4D, 5D, 60, 70, 80, 90, and embodied in our bodies. We're not flying out of our bodies. We're in our bodies. Okay, they're saying that that will help Sinija. So we're just going to call in for money and abundance for Sinija to come in as quickly as possible, like in the now. the now is the fast track. And we're asking for all of it to be in service to source. And bringing in the golden light of source to surround Sinija. Her bravery, her level of risk is high. So Sinija, just know that about yourself. And then just anchoring her frequency, like we want to call it her God frequency, only source aligned. So anchoring in her God frequency, only source aligned. Okay. And then opening to receive fully. Only source aligned. And then just, they're saying like, open your wings, like just open, 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 open. They're basically showing that they love that. Actually, it's like you in a kayak and it's like the rapids and you're just going, with your paddle. It's one of the, I think it's a kayak because the paddle is like connected and then you're just moving the two paddles like this in the rapids and going really fast, but you're calm and then your angel wings are out. So you're able to handle a high level of risk and they acknowledge that. And then they're saying you're fully here now. So you're fully anchored, fully here. They're saying they're just going to clear the third eye. Only source aligned. And then just anchoring any updates that are available to you right now, any energy updates that are available to you right now. And then it's landed, accepted in the earth. A crow just flew by up in the air. So we've landed. Whew. Okay, so let's just check the chat for Sinija. Let's see, Sinija. Okay, Sinija says she's crying. Okay, all right, so that's landed. So the body had a response, right? So the body knows how to release. Blessings, Sinija, sending you hearts for that. Yeah, it's good. I know it's not easy to cry, but it's good. And then Sinija says, thank you, Elaine, Yeshua, and team. I appreciate what they said, but I don't think I did it all by myself. Yeah, absolutely. The team is always there, right? The angel wings are the team. The angel, that's very 3D. I did it myself. I'm all by myself. I did it myself. That's the big lie, right? Like the angel wings are like connected to source and all, like only source aligned. So let's bring in source's golden light surrounding Sinija with source's golden light, anchoring all the healing, energy clearings right to the root cause, anchoring Sinija in her highest timeline and sink deep into the heart, into the higher self of unconditional love, and then only source aligned. Good. Good, good, good. And we're asked that all the records be updated for Sinija, which we know the crow, it's, what do they want to say? It's accepted. It's received. That's what I was like, what are they saying? It's received. Received. It's done. And so be it. It is done. All right, good. Okay, so let's take a look. So sending lots of love to Sinija. Okay, so then I saw there's some other, we're going back on the chat. Actually, I'm going to have some coconut water. And the coconut water, and then Sinija, you can tell me what I found is Blue Monkey. So Blue Monkey is better than the Costco brand. So no offense, Costco. But anyways, I can't drink something that has 10% of undisclosed something. Or else I would just be drinking water. Okay. All right. Let's see. Juanita. Let's Sunija, thank you. Okay, so I thought I saw. All right. Okay, so imperfect on purpose. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice handle. Um, let's see, imperfect. Let's see, imperfect on purpose. Love this. Work on it every day to be the version of me I see in the reality I'm creating. Yeah, beautiful. And then imperfect on purpose says, I'm enjoying watching this. I have a question about whether I am on the right path. I have been feeling like I am supposed to do something else. Okay. Let me just see if there's more. Okay, so at imperfect on purpose, I see 6 people watching, only 3 likes. Make sure to give some love. Oh, thanks. I'll send some love back. Thank you. Imperfect on purpose. Sinija is a beautiful name. Yes, and beautiful person. Thank you. Sinija, did you receive that? Sinija says, yes, Blue Monkey is a very good brand, very clean. Thank you, Sinija. Yeah, she is a medicine woman, so she knows a lot about stuff like herbs and vitamins and things that I don't pay attention to. So Sinija says, thank you, imperfect on purpose. Double hearts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, 5 double hearts, so 10 hearts. All right, nice community. This is very 5D of all of us. Okay, so for imperfect on purpose, for your question, I just need your year of birth, the year that you were born, and then like your first name, your year of birth, and then your preferred pronouns, because sometimes with names I can't tell. So she, her, they. So imperfect on purpose, name is Renee. Okay, great, thank you. And then your year of birth, 1975. And then she, her, do you go by she, her, or they? She, her. Okay, thank you. All right, so the question is, am I on the right path? Okay, so Renee wants to know if she's on the right path and she's been feeling like she's supposed to be doing something else. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay. And thank you for all the support, everybody, and then supporting each other. Like, I just want to say hi to Helen. I think I saw Helen here join. Yes, Helen. Hello, Elaine. Hi, Sunija. Hi, Helen. Okay, so Helen was popping into my mind, so I want to say hi so then I can like let go. So I feel like that we've kind of got updated with the chat. Okay, so now let's go into Renee's question. So Renee wants to know if she's on the right path and she has a feeling like she's supposed to be doing something else. So let's take a look. Okay. So Renee, 1975. Okay, so when you're seeing, we can all do this together. So what I'm doing is I'm going into 0 point. So 0 point consciousness is total neutrality. So nothing can be created or destroyed. It's like 0 point, which is where the best healing and the best answers come from. That's coming from 7D. I want to see actually. Okay, so then another way of saying it is connecting to the I am presence. So connecting to presence through the heart, and then full awareness of I am presence, source consciousness through the heart, connecting through presence into the inner body, to our higher self or infinite self or highest self, the deep I. And then we're going into full awareness, is 7D. Okay. They're like, took me right into is, is, they're like seeing life in as it is. Okay, so we're asking basically for Renee, we're asking for her purpose. Yeah, there's what they're showing is they're showing you like climbing a mountain, and then it's like really steep, like you have like special tools, to climb up this mountain. They're just clearing the nervous system for you, Renee. They're just clearing. So the very back, so they're like that to me is the base. It's the base of like the base of the body, they're saying. And so they're saying like what your purpose is you're here to anchor um the new earth frequency. So you're here, your purpose, so the big purpose, the climbing up the mountain purpose, the Mount Everest, I call it, the Mount Everest purpose is to anchor in the new human consciousness, which is 5D through the heart. So connecting with your inner light, connecting with what has meaning for you, what brings you serenity or feeling like a feeling of completion. But the big thing is feeling what has meaning. So anything that has meaning to you, you're fulfilling your purpose. Yeah. They said even if it feels like benign, like it, even if it feels like you don't even know really why you're doing it or why you're studying it or why you're learning it, it's like it's connecting to your life purpose, which is bringing in the new human consciousness, which is 5D. And they're saying like the more you anchor in that inner love, it's like that activates your purpose. It activates, like I got angel bumps, saying that. It's like, when you get goosebumps, but you can't control it. It just, it appears when there's truth. So the more inner love, which is 5D. So 5D is inner love. And they're just releasing from the the solar plexus, the third energy center where the ribs are. Yeah. So anything that has meaning to you, it's worthwhile. And then you may not have full understanding, they said, of why you're doing what you're doing in the moment, but it will kind of reveal itself. Yeah. Yeah. Like there's like, you don't have to, like, nothing is benign. Like it's like there is a reason for it. If it has meaning to you, if it has meaning to you, it's not benign. There's a purpose for it. But your overall purpose is to anchor and bring in the way they're saying it is the new human consciousness. And then just holding that, anchoring that. And then they're right now, they're just going to offer the removal of obstacles. So Ganesha is wants to step in and he's the remover of obstacles. He also can put obstacles in if we're not on our right track. But in this way, in this moment, he's saying he'd like to be here to remove obstacles for Renee. And Ganesha is only source aligned. He's come forward for me many times throughout my life. And he says he can help remove some obstacles for Renee, only source aligned. So just leaving what is source aligned and then removing what is not source aligned and then releasing it back to source. Okay, so just releasing. They're saying we want to release from the base of your skull, which is like the beginning of your existence, like your earth existence. So they just want to do some releasing, and I'm thinking that's why Ganesha stepped forward to remove those obstacles. Yeah, good. It doesn't hurt me at all. By the way, it might look very intense because they're like wanting to remove it from the root, remove the obstacles. And then usually that's when, like a helper, like another light worker will step forward, So sometimes they're in the physical, but usually they're not in the physical. They're in like a higher dimension. So they're coming in to help. But I'm always check to make sure, and we always check, and if you choose to always check that they are source aligned. So good, good. Clearing, clearing, clearing. Whew. They just want to clear, clear, clear. They want to clear like hopeless, despair, evil, blame, and tragedy. They're saying that's what Ganesha has, only source aligned, has stepped forward to remove. He's the remover of obstacles. It's kind of his specialty, he's saying. It's just it's like his specialty. And we're doing this from 7D, so anywhere from 7D and down, like to 1D, right? Down to the beginning. Yeah, so then you're going to have like an understanding of everything. So as things release, like as that releases, then you're going to have actually more understanding is going to come through for your purpose. Phew. There, good. And then they're saying you're going to be able to then step out with like a passion because you're going to be like, you're going to feel free, you're going to feel clear. And then they're saying like this, there was like the muck kind of got released, kind of at the root cause. There was like a backlog, but it's not necessary for where you are now. So they're like, okay, with your higher self and only source aligned, then that was a clearing that was available. So it was like a very very low 3D. So evil, kind of hopeless, despair, like very low 3D. They're like, let's clear that. Let's um like release it from the root. And that's Ganesha's specialty. He's only source aligned. So I would call him like an ascended master. Whew. And then the harmony is going to come in. And then, so the purpose is really like stabilizing in that new earth frequency. So the new consciousness, like 5D consciousness. And they're saying like you have all the tools, you know, to climb Everest. Like you have all the expertise, all the tools. But they're saying it has to be done though in a grounded earth, you know, grounded, like being in the body. You know, we can't do this out of the body. It's in the body. Okay, so let's just check the chat for Renee. Before closing. Okay, so Renee, I'm just going to look for your handle here. This chat is so busy. Wow, thank you, everybody. Uh, Renee says, hi, Helen. And then Sunija says, hi, Helen. Hi, Renee. Nice. And then I don't think we also need to say hi to Juanita too, because Juanita's been part of the chat as well. And then I guess others. So I okay, let's see. Okay, so just looking at the chat. Oh, you know what, Sunija and Helen. Okay, I'm just looking at the chat, but I'm just gonna focus. I just have to stay. They're like, no. Stay focused on Renee. So we have to close Renee properly. So I'm looking at the chat, but I'm just gonna actually look at Renee's okay, so Renee says her handle is imperfect on purpose. Renee says, so interesting that you saw a mountain. My thumbnail for my story, my journey here on YouTube has me with a mountain showing the climb. Yeah, exactly. You're climbing it with the tools. Like I see you, what I saw was like, you know, like a pick almost, you know, like going up this really steep, like Mount Everest. And then a question, how you feel me as a being. Oops, oh, that's a different person. That's a different handle. Okay, so let's just stay with, sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's just stay with Renee. So her handle is at imperfect on purpose. Thank you. So interesting that the more I learn about manifesting and energy, the more I come across things and people I need. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be like your higher self, you know, will be the more we surrender, the more we communicate with our higher self, only source aligned, then the more more help comes in. Okay. So Renee, I think Renee, what we'll do is close for Renee, focusing on her purpose, and her purpose is the new earth consciousness and anchoring that. And that was really what brings Renee meaning in her life. And then Renee says her handle is at imperfect on purpose. It says, she says, as soon as you mentioned the mountain, I felt the release. I am doing okay. Yeah, beautifully. Yeah, you are. You are totally doing okay. You're doing beautifully. They're saying you're doing beautifully because this is your purpose, and you will bring meaning from this awakening and anchoring into 5D consciousness. Okay, so let's close for Renee. So we're bringing in sources golden light, anchoring into the present moment. Thank you, Ganesha, for stepping forward, removing obstacles, only source aligned. And then just bringing in sources golden light, more sources golden light. So all around, and then through the heart and connecting to source consciousness. Good. Good. connecting in neutrality, that's 7D consciousness, connecting in pure awareness, presence, peace, joy, inner love, serenity. Good. All right. Happy climbing. They're saying very good. Thanks, Renee. All right, so we'll close with Renee. I'll send some hearts. Thank you for your question, Renee. Thank you for being here. Okay, let me take a look at the chat because it's been busy today. Okay. Okay, so Helen was asking if Sinija can email. I can also email the two of you because I have your email, so I can give Helen Sinija's email, or I can email both of you with your emails. Actually, that's good, actually, because I want to connect the two of you. So I will email both of you. So Sinija's saying can't message you personally from here. Yeah, so I can email both of you because I have both of your emails, and then you guys can have each other's emails. If you guys give me permission for that, I can do that. Okay. Because yeah, maybe Helen, you don't want to publish your email publicly on YouTube. So if you guys are okay with me, I can email you both after this live is done. Okay, so it looks like somebody else has joined. The Dead Eye 11111. The Dead Eye 1111 with green hearts says hi. 4 green hearts. Hello. Welcome. The Dead Eye for 11, so 11, 11, 11, 11. A question, how do you feel me as a being? Green heart and stars. Okay, I'll just continue on seeing what else is in the chat. And then Helen says, okay, I was going to see if I could give you something. Okay, so if Helen and Sinija, I can share your emails to each other from my email. I can email you both. And then the Deadeye 1111 says, can you feel me? And then at the Deadeye 1111 star star star. Okay. So Renee at Imperfect on Purpose says, thanks, it's a mountain. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. And then at the Deadeye 1111 says, I usually make people feel like time is slowing down, like being in a jelly atmosphere. Okay, interesting. Sinija says, sure, Elaine, thank you. Okay, that's about sharing the phone number. So I will do that. I mean, not the phone numbers, the emails. And then Elaine, sorry, I misspelled your name. Oh, that's okay. It's no problem. Thanks, Sunija. And the Deadeye 1111, and I'm from Andromeda. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. And then Melissa 3810 handle says, hello, everyone. Hello, Melissa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. I think for at the Deadeye 1111, I think I would need your name and your year of birth and your pronouns, your she, he, they. And then I think that would be the last one. But I'm here again on Thursday. So if anybody has more questions, you can connect with this YouTube live at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. So at the Deadeye 1111, I would need your first name, your like real name, or yeah, pretty much as like an identifier in terms of like connecting with your higher self, and then the year of birth, and then your pronouns, she, he, they. Have some more coconut water. if you're still here. And what year birth are you, Puya? And if I'm enunciating your name correctly. And then your pronoun, he, she, they, and the year of birth. 15th of February. So at the Deadeye, 11/11/11, born 15th of February, 1994, 10 a.m. And then are you a he, she, they? Am I enunciating your name right, Puya? And let me see, what was your question? Let me look. How do I feel you as a being? And then Andromeda. Oh, Suja says, my cell phone is on 77% battery. And what are the number sevens mean? To me, sevens are 7D consciousness, which is the I am presence. The I am presence. 7D consciousness is also, I call it 0 point. So when I connect to getting information, I connect to 7D consciousness to 0 point. That's pure awareness. And it's also, there's non-duality. So there's no good, bad, high, low. It's all one. Okay, let me just see. At the Deadeye, from Iran and male and he. Okay, thank you. Okay, so basically you just want me to check in on your energy. At the Deadeye 11/11, so Puya. Yeah, Puya. You said that you usually make people feel like time is slowing down, like being in a jelly atmosphere. And that you're from Andromeda, so that's your star lineage. And nice to meet you. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's see. Let's take a look. So Puya, and you're born 1994. So, and a he. So Puya is a he from Iran. So thanks for being here. Let's check. So Puya 1994. Okay. Okay, so the first thing they said is that it's hard for you to be in your body. You don't like being in a body. And it's usually very hard for Andromedans to be in their body, actually. It's actually quite rare to have Andromedans in 3D bodies, and they don't like being in the 3D body. So that's the first thing your higher self is saying, basically. So only source aligned. they're just doing some releasing on your neck and your shoulders. And they're just releasing kind of like, there's like this, you might relate to this or might not. I just have to say it as it's coming in, but they're saying there's this antagonistic kind of energy, and they're saying they want to help release that kind of it's creating like an agitation inside of you, and they want to help release it. They're saying it's like an antagonistic kind of energy. And they just want, it's like connected to kind of hyperactivity, and they just want to help release that if you say yes. Yeah. Okay. So Puya says exactly. Exactly with the little emoji. So, okay. So they're saying that they want to help release this antagonistic energy that is creating like a hyperactivity inside of you, that because it's hard to be in your body. And the reason why it's hard to be in your body is coming from your star seed family, the Andromedans. It's a high frequency and 11D frequency, and being in a 3D body, the density of 3D feels very, very challenging. I was going to say difficult, but they're saying challenging. So you can call on, so how I would see it, or how it's being shown to me, is you can call on, so your higher self is from Andromeda. You might be connected to other lineages in terms of like the galactics, but the one that's resonating or appearing now is from Andromeda. So they're saying connect to your heart. Connecting to your higher self is connecting to the Andromedans. And then they're just saying like connecting, like affirming that in the inner body. And they're saying like that will bring in a lot of like hopeful, kind of optimistic kind of energy. So you can do this. The Andromedans can do this. It's like easy peasy. It's like, it is like shifting. It's like a light switch where the more you get anchored, the easier it will be. Okay. So a lot of light workers, star seeds, they can come from 24D, their higher selves, right? They can, like seraphim are like 24, the cherubim are like 23, so it can have very high frequencies. It's not a competition, right, of like dimensions. It's like there might be multiple dimensions that you connect with, but we're focusing on the Andromedans because you mentioned them. And so connecting through the heart, it's the safest portal. And then connecting into the inner body, and then just practicing. Just be like, okay, I'm just gonna practice. It's a practice because the hyperactivity is from popping out of your body. And then it's kind of funny, like you said, that you kind of help. And I can't remember what you said. I'm just gonna look up at the chat. Like it's something about how you make people feel like jelly. It's almost like it's a high frequency, like a high pitch, like the Andromedans, it would be like, and I've had clients that are Andromedans, and it's like, that have a high pitch, but they're like, can really, without stabilizing in the inner body, they're very prone to like depression and shame, like especially because they feel like it's so awkward having a body. It's like so awkward, but you're meant to have a body because you're in a body, and you can do a lot here on Earth being embodied and connecting to your galactic family. So your galactic family can help and can connect, but first, the more we embody in, and the safest portal of that I have found in connecting to the galactics is through the heart. And then just affirming, like I'm connecting through the heart, connecting to my higher self, only source aligned, and the Andromedans. And then you're really going to feel that inner light. And then your life, you're going to understand yourself a lot more. But the more they know that you're grounded for the galactics, then they know that we're safe. So the more embodied we are, the safer we are. Because the body will tell us, hey, this is going on, like how people feel, like they're in a jelly atmosphere. It's like it almost can be like a high pitch too. Like the Andromedans have like a very like sound, like a high pitched sound, and then some people are like, kind of go, whoa. But you'll meet other people like me, and I'll be like, yeah, no problem. Right? So it's like getting comfortable with your own frequency. And then just trust your connection through the heart, trust your connection. And then trust your connection in the inner body. It will really help with the hyperactivity. So, because like, Andromedans are like super bright. And so they're like, well, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? And then, you pop out of the body, which then not much is going to get done, right? In 3D. Like, we need the body. So they're just doing some like clearing. And then at the beginning, when we talked about that extra coat of shielding, that will be very important. It's called like an extra gold. It's like a golden shielding of plasma and crystalline. And then another thing that they're saying that might help is connecting to the crystalline grid of Earth, like new Earth. It's just doing some releasing. So all of this is encoded in remembrance. Like you don't need me or anybody. You will remember all these things on your own. But as soon as your higher self, like the Andromedans, know that you're secure in your body, the more information will come in. Yeah. And we're just doing it together right now, just grounding together. I can feel it in the first three chakras. So everything from the where the ribs connect and lower is like that's where it's difficult for Andromedans usually is the grounding. But it is possible. It is possible to be grounded. It is possible. And it will feel very good. Actually, you will feel secure. So that jelly kind of feeling that other people feel, they could be empaths that are feeling your energy. It could be like a mirroring situation. And then it's just really like it's like overcoming a fear of the body. The body is not the enemy. The body is the answer. Like our body will help us awaken. Our body helps us ground. Our body helps us be safe. So they're saying that what might help is connecting to the crystalline grid of New Earth, and then just connect through the heart first, connect through your higher self, and then connecting to the crystalline grid. Yeah, good. And they just want to do like a kind of like a shakeout. They're calling it, just kind of like clear your energy really quickly and just really help, especially the lower chakras are just going to do like a very fast clearing of the lower chakras. And then just connecting to the crystalline grid, connect to the crystals. The crystals are on the earth and they're high frequency and they can help stabilize your energy frequency. and then connecting to plasma, that crystalline light, the living light, source consciousness, living light. You can word it that way. So it can just say, like, I'm going to connect now to the crystalline grid and anchor into the crystalline grid. So I'm secure, safe, and then connecting to the heart. And then that's connecting to your heart, is connecting to the Andromedans, your higher self. And then that will give you that field of protective energy. All right, let's see. Let's look at the chat. So Puya, he, 1994. Let's take a look. Okay. So Puya says, thank you. Yes, overall energy. Exactly. And then only 11 or 12 of us could tolerate earthly density. Yeah, we do get a lot of preparation. I have learned we get a lot of help and a lot of preparation in order to come in as a light worker in 3D density. And our body is really what keeps us safe so that we don't first lose our minds. And then what happened is, from others that have come, like the fallen angels, what happened to them is they came into 3D density and then they got confused. They're like, they're like totally overwhelmed and confused. So our body, when we anchor inside and then connect to the crystalline grid, it really helps us anchor and then feel secure in our body. It is like creating like a secure attachment. And then Puya says just 11 or 12 people. Okay. I'm not sure what you meant there. And then Puya says, honestly, we just come to observe, cause human logic. Oh, because human logic is far more strange. Yeah. But the fact of observation can change the atmosphere and make it glitch. Absolutely. Yeah. That is 0 point consciousness. That is 7D, is just staying in that observer, neutral, it's like a very powerful. And then the next step is also then embodied 7D, right? And that is possible. We can be embodied 7, 8, 9D in a 3D body. And that is also amazing. So, and then he says, Puya says, and thank you for joining the live all the way from Iran. I mean, that's amazing. Okay, so then Puya says, so I didn't have to, but I choose to be free humans alongside others from Matrix Womb. Yeah, absolutely. You can just be free. You can be here. Actually, the more embodied you are, 5, 6, like lowest is 5. So if you're feeling that hyperactivity, and that's like very low 3D, right? So we want to help your body with that low 3D, and then embodied 5D, embodied 6, 7, 8, 9D, right? It's possible, right? It's a choice. But you have it like that, staying in the observer state of consciousness, that is the I am presence. Okay, so that's like the non-duality, right? So we're not getting into they're bad, I'm good, they're dumb, I'm smart. This is like, it's like none of that. That's all very 3D, right? Yeah. So Poya, so at the Jedi 1111 says thank you with 4 green hearts. You're welcome. My pleasure. Okay, so now we're going to close. If that feels good, we're going to close and seal the session for Puya from Iran, Andromedan, Starseed. Okay, so let's close. And so connecting to source consciousness, bringing in the golden light of source for Puya to help with the embodying process. Okay, so being embodied, it will feel better. Good. So connecting to source consciousness, and then we're connecting to the crystalline grid, and then we're bringing the golden light of source all around Puya and sealing his session off for the highest and greatest good under the law of grace and under the law of one. And so be it. It is done. Okay, good. Thanks, Puya. Good question. Thanks for joining. All right. I think, whoa, this is like a long live. We're already at 1 o'clock. Okay, so Melissa, let's check the chat. Melissa says 1968. Should I take this course on learning how to communicate with animals? Okay, so Melissa, I think your question is going to be the last one, and then we'll end the live. Okay, so, but I'll be here again on Thursday at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. Okay. So Melissa, 1968. Should I take this course on learning how to communicate with animals? Okay, let's take a look. So Melissa, 1968. Okay. So let's see. So 0 point, so we know 7D. Okay, Melissa, 1968. Melissa, 1968. Okay, let's go. Yeah, they're saying right away that will help your second chakra, your sacral chakra, the orange, which is relationships. It will actually help you. Taking this course would actually help you with all your relationships. So learning how to communicate with animals will help you with all your relationships. So your relationship with yourself, your relationship with others, and the animals will help. So it looks like it's like an energetic communication with animals, like a psychic communication with animals, like an intuitive communication with animals, a heart-based communication with animals, like a feeling, seeing, sensing. Yeah, that they're saying that all of that is available for you. The seeing, sensing, feeling, knowing, hearing, smelling, tasting, that whole everything. All the senses, all the 5D. Yeah, good job. Yeah, they're saying good job. Yeah. Yeah, they just keep saying good job. So I think they're saying yeah, they're saying yes. They keep saying good job. So that's all I keep hearing is yes, good job, yes, good job. So it looks like it's a yes. Yeah. Let's take a look at the chat and see what Melissa says. Melissa says, what does Melissa say? Learning how to communicate with animals. And then Melissa says, oh, thank you. Yes. I'm guessing with all the clairs, like all the seeing, feeling, and hearing. And then oh, Sunija's asking Melissa if you can share the name of the course. And then Melissa says, yes, I want to heal them. Okay. Yes, they're saying yes, that you'll be able to see it. You'll feel it in your body. You'll feel what they're feeling in your body. It's not going to cause you harm, but you're going to feel it. You're going to, like an empath, an empath feels it. Um, Yeah, they're saying you're going to be able to feel it, see it, sense it, know it, and then speak it. So good. They're saying good job. They're saying good. Yeah, good. Right on track. It's a good match, they're saying. And then we're just doing some energy clearing and energy releasing for Melissa. Nervous system. Mostly that's what's happening now in terms of the like deepest kind of energy clearings is like nervous system resets. So, and then just anchoring the I am presence. I am presence through the heart, which is connecting to our higher self, our highest consciousness. Good. Great. Okay, they're saying great. They're saying good. Okay, so I'm just going to check the chat and then we can close for Melissa. Melissa says, yes, I want to heal them. And then Melissa says, I'm so excited. Yeah, absolutely. It's very exciting. It's a good match. That's what they're saying. They're saying it's a good match. Good. All right, sending lots of love. And then to all being here on the chat. Long session today. We did it. Had a lively discussion. Thanks everybody for being here. So let's close for Melissa. Oh, it looks like I bumped my table. I bumped my table. So let's close for Melissa, 1968. Let's close. And we're closing right to the root cause, right to the very first incarnation, bringing in source's golden light. Good. Only source aligned, connecting with only source aligned through the heart. And good, 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 good. They're saying good, good, good. Bringing in the golden light from source to all of the cells, grounding into the body, connecting to new earth, connecting to the crystalline grid. So we're anchored, we're stable. And connected to that inner love inside our hearts, source consciousness, our higher self. Good. All right. Closing for Melissa. Thank you. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I'm just going to look at the chat and see. Yeah, so it looks good. Okay, so thanks. Thanks for being here. The handle at the Deadeye 1111. So Puya, yeah, Puya from Iran says you have a beautiful soul. Blue hearts. Thank you, blue hearts. 8 blue hearts. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for sending the hearts, everybody. Whoever is sending the hearts, thank you. And I'll send some hearts back. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. And I'll see you in the next one. Helen says, thanks. Thanks, Helen. Thank you, everybody, for asking questions. Thank you, Juanita, for starting us off today. If you're still here, I'm not sure. Thank you, Sunija, for putting your questions in the chat. I will connect Sunija and Helen together. And thank you, Imperfect on Purpose, Renee. Thank you for joining. And then did I miss? Thank you, Helen. And then the YouTube handle at the Deadeye 1111 from Iran. Puya, thank you for joining. And Andromedan, it's always exciting. Connecting to the galactic family. And then thank you, Melissa. And I think that's it. And Sunija says, thank you, Elaine, for all that you do for humanity. Angel, emoji hearts, emoji hug, and 2 yellow hearts. Yeah. Thank you, Sunija. Thank you for all the emojis too. Yeah, and that's the thing is like 5D is we're doing it together, right? So we're anchoring the frequency together and it's a lot easier together. 3D is all getting through the muck by yourself and it's all confusing, but 5D is community is there's no hierarchy. We are doing this together and we're anchoring the frequency in the body together. Yeah. All right, beautiful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your questions, and we'll see you in the next one. If you can make it on Thursday at 7:30 Pacific time, PT in Vancouver time. Okay, take care, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.